Welcome to Coffee Break with JFK, the gift that keeps on giving. That's right. Guess what we have tonight? We have a special guest. That's right. Bass player extraordinaire, the bass player of JFK himself, Arnold Williams. How you doing, buddy?
Doing real good, Joel. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. You look good tonight.
Well, thank you. I took a shower this week.
How was the drive in?
Well, I had my limo pick me up and drop me off here at Casa Kinney, and, life's good.
It was a long trek down the hallway, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had to pull myself out of the room. Thanks for taking the lock off the door.
That's awesome. Dude, welcome, man. You're officially the first guest on Coffee Break with JFK.
I'm honored. Yeah, this is a thrill. So sitting here in the studio.
Yeah, well, it's so this is a sexy studio too, man. People don't realize just how hooked up this is.
Yeah, it's high tech all the way. I couldn't ask for more. It's my dream come true to be sitting in here with you and the dogs.
I know. and there's Bubba sitting right behind you with a big old cone on his head.
I knew I smelled something.
Yeah, poor guy. Poor guy. Well, hey, man, welcome, and thanks for coming. I'm going to talk to you tonight about, I'm going to interview you, man. Do you mind?
Cool. Just, knock yourself out, and I'll see if I've got any intelligent answers to spew.
Okay, so I appreciate that. So you are, you play in a band called JFK, yeah?
Yeah, they're a pretty good local band around here. Got a decent following. Yeah.
So how long have you been playing the bass?
I've been playing the bass longer than I've been playing the trout. Actually, since 1979. So, 41 years?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Someday I'll be able to actually play my instrument.
What made you? What made you want to play? I mean, well, we all know why we wanted to get into a band, right? But what made you decide to pick up the bass? What was it about the bass?
The Beatles, Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah, I saw him on the Ed Sullivan Show. When I must have been 5 years old, changed my life. It's like, that's what I want to do. Paul was, my first bass inspiration. And then, along came Geddy Lee. So it's the main reason my first bass was a Rickenbacker, was because of those two gentlemen. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. So, okay, Ed Sullivan Show. The Beatles. Obviously that's that. Oh, I want to be in a band, right? What was it about that though? What, when you saw, was it the crowd reaction? Was it the girls?
Personally, I got tingles up and down my arms. I loved the music. I loved the reaction of the crowd. It's just like, I would just love to be able to do that. So, started off my musical career playing in junior high, playing the clarinet. So, that, wasn't getting me laid. So, I moved on to the bass.
First it's clarinets, then it's groupies.
Yeah.
Then it's, next thing you know, you're all bloated and dead from a coke overdose.
Yeah.
It always starts with the clarinet. You ever notice that?
Yeah, it does. That's the evil instrument.
It's never the flautist.
It started down, in playing the Basin City Blues, or Basin Street Blues down there, playing the Dixieland stuff. Yeah, I was in a Dixieland band in the 8th grade.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, we traveled around. Yeah.
Were you first chair or what?
I was first chair, yes.
Clarinet.
Yep. And, my inspiration for the clarinet was Beaver Cleaver.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
he? I didn't.
He played the clarinet in one of the episodes.
That was not why.
Did you? Exactly.
Oh, let's unpack all of this. We're unpacking all of this. Okay, so next thing you know, you're going to say that you started riding a Schwinn bike because of Dennis the Menace, right?
Pretty much.
All right. So So why did you? What did you? How did you connect to Beaver? That gave you inspiration to want to play a clarinet?
I don't have a clue. It must have been something in the milk I drank that morning or something. But when the time came that we were going to pick between choir and band, I wanted to be in the band, and I knew that I wanted to play the clarinet, and it was all because of Beaver. It was pretty sure it's something they were putting in my Lucky Charms.
Was that wait? Oh, let's unpack that. So what was the sugary cereal of choice?
Actually, I was a Raisin Bran fan. I loved my Raisin Bran.
Even at 5.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that Beaver Cleaver talked with a Paul McCartney Liverpool accent?
I did not notice that.
No, he never did.
No,
he
but
never did.
yeah. I also I enjoyed Eddie Haskell. He was the scum of the earth in my mind.
He was such a rascal,
Yeah, I
wasn't
just
he?
loved the way that he loved to sweet talk.
Mrs.
The
Cleaver?
mom, Mrs. Cleaver. Yeah.
So let's fast forward. So you see the Beatles, you're like, hey, I got to play the bass, right?
Yep.
Okay, so but is watching the Beatles was it something that you connected with Paul McCartney, or was it just like the music? What was it about the bass though that jumped out at you?
I think it was more of Paul, the visual thing of Paul on stage, the way he seemed to be enjoying himself. He had that little bopping thing he did with the bass neck that,
Yeah.
Paul did,
Yeah.
and bobbing his head around. I loved his voice, and I just kind of was drawn to Paul. Now, as far as actual looking for a new song on any of the albums, it was always the George Harrison single that I was drawn to because
Yeah.
he had the gems,
Right.
where you knew Paul and John, they were going to come through with something good, but what's George going to come through with? So, yeah.
I'm the same way, man. Those George Harrison tunes, they all jump at, Taxman.
Don't bother me.
Yeah. I mean, they always popped off the record.
Yep. They had something to say.
Yeah. I mean, listen to us. The Paul and John songs were just garbage,
Yes,
right?
total garbage, yeah.
Just unlistenable.
A day in the life, forget about it.
Yeah, Eleanor Rigby, what a pile of garbage. No, I totally get it though. But the George Harrison stuff was just it was so banging.
Yep.
I think it was also the Harrison stuff was so edgy.
Yeah.
It was darker, right?
It wasn't quite as polite. It's like...
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's like Paul and John always, even though they had some political stuff, they were always trying to be happy and more upbeat. Where, Taxman was totally dark.
Yeah.
The taxman's taking all your money, you're dying, you better bequeal the pennies from your eyes, That's pretty dark.
I'll leave it to the English, man.
Yeah.
Leave it to the English. Okay, so there goes Bubba.
On cue.
On cue. Okay, so you get going playing bass, right? What was your very first bass you ever got, and how did you get it?
Actually, it was a Mateo copy, a Fender copy, and it was a real pile of garbage.
Big P. Wait. Let me guess. Big P bass copy, right?
Yeah.
With a like a 2x12 neck.
Pretty much about a 1.5-inch action on it. So, yeah.
Jeez.
I played that for I think 2 shows, and I knew because of Paul and Getty and Chris Squire and a few other Rickenbacker players that I wanted a Rickenbacker. So I went up to Apple Music and found me a Black Beauty, and the rest was history.
How old were you then?
That would have been late 1979.
2009. Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, it was late 79. The bass was actually built in August of 79. It came off the production line then, and I got it like in September of 79.
Well, how old were you then?
I'd have been 20.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so working a job?
Yeah.
How'd you pay for it?
I had a real good paying job. I worked at DeWalt Northwest. We made the garbage cans that you see in all the alleys and on the dumpster trucks and so forth. And I was a warehouseman. I was making really good scratch for a young guy. I was still living at home, so all my money went to me.
Yeah. So what was a bass amp? What was the first bass amp?
It was an acoustic, one of the combos. I think it was the 315. And I've still got it floating around in a storage unit somewhere.
That's crazy. What was your first real bass amp?
Actually, that was the amp that I played all through my first band, and then I had an Ampeg for a while. Don't know why I ever got rid of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get one of those again someday, but they're awfully heavy.
They're very heavy.
And then, I was out of music for a long time, like 16, 17 years, and so,
Because about that time you got somebody pregnant, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, yeah, my wife.
Oh, jeez. Isn't that crazy that you were out of music that long? It was such a thing, right? Was this before? Was this before when you got out? Was Atmosphere before that?
Yeah, Atmosphere was from like 79 to 82.
Oh,
I got
okay.
married in 84.
Oh, okay. So you had done the Bill Boley rooms and the Denny Herman rooms and all that. You would like, played all over and done the whole band thing.
Did the state fairs, the
Yeah.
county fairs, all
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, like we all did it.
The frat parties at Oregon State, those were some good days.
Okay, so that was all pre marriage.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's fast forward. So the marriage ends, right?
Thank God.
How quickly did you jump back into a band?
Real quickly.
Did you know like that? Were you like just looking at your watch for 16 years?
Thank God it was only 9, but yeah. Yeah, I even attempted to get into some bands during the marriage, but she was a wet blanket as far as that went, and I didn't need the aggravation, so I'd blow it off. But yeah, I was ready when I got out of the marriage, and then I was in a few good bands, and then I ended up with my son living with me, so I took some more time off, and then eventually started hanging out in the big town of Salem and sitting in with a band here and there. Ran to some little band called JFK.
You make it sound like it was literally like 3 months later, after 1979.
It was a decade and a half. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so you hadn't. So before you joined us, had you not been playing in a substantial project where guys that because I don't necessarily remember leading up to it.
No, I was. Yeah, and people would even ask me when I started hanging out up here in Salem, it's like, well, why aren't you in a band? Because I'd set in with a few bands, and it's like, oh, you're really good, you seem to enjoy it. Why aren't you in a band? And it's like, well, I need to find the right situation. To me, being in a band at that point wasn't about being in a business per se. I wanted to find some guys that I enjoyed playing with and that I had a good time with. And I also was looking for a band that had big production values. So,
God, it's too bad you wound up with a bunch of shitheads like us.
Yeah, got these little, the flying peas and all that stuff. But no, eventually a band called Last Minute, they asked me to be their bass player when they got rid of their previous bass player. So I played with them for a couple years. And that opened up the door more so to the Salem scene for me, people getting to know who I was and so forth. And at that point, I'd already set in a few shows with JFK. As a matter of fact, I think it was 7 years ago this new year
That's crazy.
We did the show out at Duffy's that I set in and played a few songs.
Yeah, Boys Are Back. Do you remember the 3 songs?
Boys Are Back. We did, was it?
Stonehenge. We did Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. I think it was a Van Halen song, wasn't it? You Really Got Me, I think. And probably one other song.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
It's been so long ago.
I know. I remember Boys Are Back, and I couldn't even tell you what the other 2 were.
Yeah, I'm positive we played that one. And I remember I forgot to wear my belt that night. And, and while I was on stage, my pants kept wanting to fall down. So, yeah. I just have my legs spread as far, in the rock pose. So my pants wouldn't fall down.
I always wondered why.
That's my pose.
You had the big pose. So let's go to. I want to talk a little bit about how I want to talk on how I found you. So I mean, the fact of the matter is, we didn't find you. You found us, right? We would have never met you had you not been coming to the shows.
Right, and since I was coming to see different bands in Salem, somebody mentioned, have you seen JFK? They're pretty entertaining. They've opened up for Pat Travers and so forth. And it's like, well, whatever. What's the name mean was my first thing. So it's like, why are they named after a dead president?
Just for kicks.
Yeah, so, I finally figured out that it was Joel Kinney's initials, and thought that was kind of cool. But I eventually went to West Side Station to check out a show and played the first set, and it's like, oh, these guys are pretty good. Didn't have the full-blown production with the full wall of amps out there yet, but I still liked the quality of the production, and And Joel seemed to be a really friendly guy, and
Thanks, man.
they took a break, and he came over and introduced himself. And yeah, wanted to know what my story was because I was dressed kind of like a freak or something.
Dude,
so,
no.
Yeah.
Come on. No. All right, let me interrupt you. So you were not dressed like a freak, dude. You looked fantastic, and so I'm like, holy shit, this guy's the business. And I always love, man. You know me. I gravitate to people that like. They can even be dressed very strange, but if they own it, and you totally owned it, and that's what I loved. What do you remember? Do you remember the very first? Was it a West Side show that was the first JFK show you saw?
Yes.
So that was like what 2000? Was Kelly playing with us?
Leland played bass on that show, the first show. Kelly played some shows shortly after that.
Okay.
And Larry was drumming at that point.
Yeah, and that was what, 2008, 2009?
Yeah, I wasn't even on Facebook yet, so it was, probably 2009, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Came to a few more shows. Then eventually he said, hey, you want to play? And gave me 3 songs to learn and had me come to a rehearsal to make sure that I wasn't a total chump.
Right. What was that experience like when you came to the rehearsal? What were your feelings there?
I really jacked up. I remember we started off, the very first song was Running with the Devil.
Did I stop?
No, well, Mike stopped it because I started off so damn fast.
Oh, right.
Like, take a deep breath, slow down. So, yeah. And then, it's Sam Wells. No, Sam didn't come to that rehearsal. That was for the one of the Kaiser Rapids shows. But, we played like the 3 songs. Everything sounded okay, and you guys threw me out so you could get on with your rehearsal. And
oh, I know. Yeah, the 3rd song was Running with the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was Running with the Devil.
Yeah.
It was Running with the Devil. Boys Are Back, and I can't remember that what the 3rd one was.
But yeah, good times. It didn't suck.
Yeah, how'd you feel about how you did during the rehearsal?
I was okay. I was still nervous as hell. You know, I thought you guys were, definitely the big dogs around here, and
man.
I wanted to,
Nice.
wanted to impress and didn't want to suck, of course. So, thought it went okay though, or I figured I wouldn't make it to the show.
Well, you were going to play no matter what.
So, it went well. I remember, playing the Roxy show was a really cool thing because I hadn't been on like a big stage with a big crowd in years. So,
yeah, the Roxy stuff was
that
cool.
was a really, really cool event. And,
That's great, man. So you didn't make any of the old Lefty shows with Pat Travers or Rainey Hansen or anything.
No,
like
that was about a year before I started coming to your guys' shows, I guess.
I wish you would have loved those, man.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen that. Those were really fun. Yeah, I don't even. Man, that was Joey Steckley was playing bass for those shows.
Well, and yeah, some of my friends, bandmates from other bands, they went and saw those shows. I missed them, but yeah.
Well, that's great, man. Yeah, no, I saw you and I just went, this guy. And then I don't know if you remember, but I walked up and chatted you up, introduced myself, and then I asked you if you played.
Yep.
Yeah. And you said you played the bass.
The bass.
Dude, that was when I knew. It's funny because you kept coming to all the shows. And it was really cool because all the chicks would grab you and pull you out on the dance floor all the time.
The safe dance partner, I guess.
Yeah. It's because he looks gay. That was not it, man. No, it's because you danced every time.
Yeah.
And I'm even fairly certain there was some married women that grabbed you because they knew their husbands wouldn't dance. And
I can name them.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's a beautiful thing, man. So you kept coming to the shows and you were so enthusiastic and there was a period there, man, you didn't miss anything.
I think the only show I missed for a while was one of the shows at Halfpenny, and the only reason I missed it was because I couldn't get parked within a mile of the venue.
It's a bad price.
So it's like, hey, guess what? I'm going out to that toilet bowl West Side Station.
Right. That's a tough problem to have, man, when you can't find parking. I feel it's bittersweet, right? Because it's like I feel bad for people wanting to go to the show that can't find parking, but on the good end of it, it means you're really popular and the place is full and popping, you know. Yeah, it's not a bad problem to have. Well, I'll tell you what, man, getting you up for those 4 songs, and then, we'd gone through a bunch of different bass players and Leland was just like, I'm just done, man. I do not want to play the bass anymore. He would have, I think he probably would have continued. But when we had him start playing guitar with us at the same time, man, that just opened everything up. And that was the time that you were, that was about the time you joined, actually.
Yep.
But I have to say, you made it really easy for us to pick you because, again, you were talking earlier about the chemistry. You're waiting for the right kind of people, the right kind of situation, the right kind of, project you want to invest in because
Right.
it's a huge investment.
Yep.
People don't realize what a huge investment being in a band is. They think it's so funny, those people that are like, will you guys play our party? And you're like, oh, okay, we're going to be expensive. Well, we'll pay you $300. And you're like, man, I wouldn't even load my truck for $300. And
Yeah, I'm glad we don't play those kind of shows.
and I hate that could sound, to somebody who doesn't understand, that could sound arrogant, but there is so much work. It literally takes you 2 hours to string all your guitars. And then another 3 hours to stretch the strings on them so they'll stay in tune. That's just prep. It takes you an hour to write the set list, a 3-hour set list. To learn the songs is weeks and weeks and weeks of sitting there, pausing, rewind, pause, rewind, and then screw it. Get on YouTube, have some 12-year-old kid show you how to play the lick, right?
Yep.
People don't realize the sheer energy that goes into putting on these shows.
Well, the very first show that I actually played after I joined the band, your birthday show there at Halfpenny, I had like 28 days to learn the set list, and I was a little freaked out. I was coming home from after working a full day at work and spending 5 to 6 hours every night learning songs,
Jeez.
going, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there.
But you did. You
Yeah.
crushed
Well, and,
it.
thank God Kelly Lemieux was in town, so he played a handful of songs too. And that took a little pressure off of me for 5 or 6 songs. But yeah, I felt like I had just barely got to the bare minimum of what I needed to do to pull that show off. I remember those first rehearsals for me were I was having stomach pains on the way to rehearsal. I was so stressed out. It's like, I can be replaced. But the hard work paid off, and now it's a real joy and a comfort, and 3 of the best dudes I could ever ask to play with. So been a cool ride.
Thanks, man. Thanks. That means a lot. Well, I'll tell you what, the rehearsals are a joy. I mean, that's just crazy because everybody hates rehearsals.
Yep.
But we love it. I mean, it's like really fun and everybody because it's like we don't get to see each other enough. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, yeah, we went basically a year without seeing each other due to COVID and stuff. If it wouldn't have been for that birthday party show we played this summer, so that was a good thing just for us to see each other and be able to get out there and do our thing.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man. Well, I'll tell you what, that you knocked it out of the park that first show, and I could tell how stressed you were for the long. Like you constantly thought you were going to be fired.
Yeah.
I felt so badly for you, man. That's why I finally pulled you aside. I just said, Arnold, I'll never forget this. I put my hands on both your shoulders. I said, Arnold, you'll never be fired from the band. You're okay.
What, you're going to run over me with the Apex truck?
Now, you'll be murdered, but it'll
be like Spinal Tap.
Yeah. It'll look like an accident. You'll be dispatched, but you'll never be fired.
You won't feel a thing.
You won't feel a thing. No, man, it's been a great ride. It's
Definitely,
been really fun. It's funny because you were so stressed out, but I got to tell you, you're the most of the 3 of us. You're the most prepared. Like you make the least amount of mistakes of any of us when we're doing when we get into the nuts and bolts of the song, and we all appreciate
that. So I don't want to let you guys down. So I try to do my part and learn my part, and and getting to the shows and playing with you guys. It's like we have so much fun on stage. It's ridiculous.
It's true.
We should be paying the clubs, but don't tell them.
No, for sure, man. No, it's so rewarding. I have to say also that the influence you had on the band also with stage clothes. You know, that was huge. I mean, because you already dressed like that, right? You always came to the club with the skin tight bootcut jeans, and you had the cool felt boots, and you had the, you know, all the bling and the cool jacket unbuttoned down them. You know what I mean? The shirt unbuttoned down to your belly button, you know, just looking cool with the hair and all that. You know, we kind of had a look going on, and, you know, we all, you know, took pride in wearing cool stage clothes, but nothing like you walk in and you've got like the custom stage clothes. And that was like I think that was a big turning point for us, man. I mean, because I'm like, dude, where did you get those? And you're like, oh, well, it's...
Yeah, I can set you up. Yeah.
I can set you up. Yeah. And then I got, you know, I had like 4 or 5 pair of that stuff.
Yeah, I think we've kept her in business. So, yeah, we've, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and looking at the photos from like 5 and 6 years ago, you know, that pop up, it's like, yeah, I can definitely see the evolution of JFK.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's really cool.
I look at those now and I see myself in blue jeans and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, we'd never do that again.
No, what are you doing?
I need my, lace side jeans and custom made
jeans
and so forth. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, man, it's like, now you can't go back. It's like once you have the wall of Marshalls, you just can't go back to the little.
We've painted ourselves in a corner.
We've painted ourselves in a corner, yeah.
And it's a pretty cool corner.
It's a very cool corner. I'll never be the guy with the Blues DeVille.
No.
On a chair. It's just I just can't. Well, number one, you can't get the sound out of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know that I'll even play one of those Kemper modeled things because I like the hair moving on my legs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's a visual thing too. It's like I'm the bass player, but being able to stand in front of 4 Marshall stacks with double heads on them, I mean, that's pretty cool for even a bass player. So.
I'd like to think so.
Yes,
I'd like to think so. Well, man, you know, are you excited about the future? Are you excited about? You think we'll ever get back on stage?
I'm excited to have a future. So, yeah, hopefully we get back on stage soon. I'm looking forward to getting my shots as soon as possible so I can protect myself, and hope everybody stays safe and we can get back on stage so we can hang out with all of our friends and fans.
Dude, I can't wait, man. I miss them. I miss playing those packed clubs. And what is it about being on stage, though, that because I know what it is for me, and there's like these... There's sort of this little trifecta of things, the sort of chemical reaction that happens, but there's something I get out of it. There's something that happens, right, between the audience and the bandmates and all this. What is it for you that you miss the most about the show? Like that.
Well, there's certain songs that I really enjoy playing regardless of if we were at rehearsal or on stage, but just the interaction with the crowd, being able to look out and make eye contact with a person and they make eye contact with you, just getting that feedback, seeing them enjoying themselves and knowing they're having a good time, that's priceless. So, it's better than any drugs you can do. So, yeah.
Yeah. That is true, man. What's the thing you look forward to before the show, before we literally take the stage?
Hang out with the boys, doing our little pre-show ritual. We always get in a little circle, and one of us says a little something, whether it's ridiculous or heartfelt or what have you. It's always a cool moment, us just being by ourselves. And our openings, I believe we've got some of the best openings in the universe.
Yeah, I agree, man. I don't think people...
We don't shortchange on our openings. We plan them out, some of the stuff we do. Kaiser Rapids show ends. We're planning next year's Kaiser Rapids show.
That's right. That is true. I think people are Bubba's having a moment over there. I don't think people realize like the effort that goes into putting our intro together, like at rehearsal. Okay, this is all right. It's usually me, right? I'm like, all right, guys, listen up. This is my plan. Right? And it's like, okay, we're going to come in from here, and then we'll have Mike. He'll be suspended from the ceiling, upside down, with it's always something.
Yep. Yeah, and everyone's special. We've had some really cool intros, some great Kaiser Rapids shows,
Yeah.
And like burning the guitars, that's not something you can really do a dress rehearsal on.
No.
I mean, that's fly by the seat of your pants and hope that somebody doesn't catch on fire type
Right.
stuff.
You got one shot, right?
And when it works out like it did, that's magic. So yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, listen, man, we're gonna jump off. Maybe we'll do a 2-parter.
All righty. Well, it's great being here tonight. I wish everybody a great 2021, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, Arnold, thanks for coming, man. Thanks
My pleasure.
Thanks for being my roommate.
Thanks for having me.
You were pretty easy. It was like I go into Arnold's room and just grab him. Come on, you're gonna get on the mic. I'm gonna do an interview. No, that's not true. I had my people called his people. It was years of negotiation.
Now where's my check?
It's coming.
Great.
See, he's been all about the money this whole time. But listen, I've been Joel Kinney, and this has been Coffee Break with JFK. Thanks again to our guest, Arnold Williams. Next week, we've got the bass player Buck Cherry. Kelly Lemieux is going to be coming in for an exclusive interview.
I'm being fired?
Not coming in to be the bandmate. No, he's just getting interviewed, Arnold.
Great.
But we've got Kelly Lemieux coming in. But listen, please subscribe and share. This channel can't stay alive without you. And I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to us. And I hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed doing it. And Arnold, good night, man.
Good night, brother.